Hello, and welcome back to Ethics and Other Messy Things. If you're just joining us, we're still spending time with the same film from last episode, Claudine. This ethics and film series is built around sitting with one story long enough to really understand it, the systems inside it, the people inside those systems, and the ethical questions that don't show up if you rush. So today is part of that ongoing conversation. And after this episode, we'll return to Claudine for two more conversations, each one looking at a different angle of the same story. Because some films don't reveal everything all at once. Some ask you to stay a little while longer. And so we'll oblige them here on Ethics and Other Messy Things. So let's get started. One of the quietest harms systems cause isn't poverty, it's secrecy. Not secrecy because someone is doing something wrong, but secrecy because being seen, it just comes with consequences. And once you start noticing that, you realize how many people are surviving systems by learning what not to show. And that's one of the most painful truths at the center of Claudine. At its heart, Claudine is a love story. Not a perfect one, not a clean one, but a very human one. Claudine and Rupert meet as two adults who are already tired and carrying a lot of responsibility and already shaped by loss, by being overworked, and by being disappointed. Rupert isn't a fantasy by any means. He's a sanitation worker, a father himself, and a man with his own set of limitations. But he's also gentle, he's attentive, and he shows genuine interest in Claudine's children. And you learn over the course of the film that he really wants to be a part of something real. And in any other context, this relationship would be called stabilizing. But inside the welfare system, it's called suspicious. And what the system sees isn't love, it sees risk. A man in the home, food on the table that didn't come from benefits, and time spent together that can't be neatly categorized. The system doesn't ask, does this relationship help this family survive? Instead, it asks, can this relationship be counted? Can it be measured? And worst of all, can it be used to justify reduction? And if the answer is yes, then love becomes a liability. Rupert brings groceries for the kids, not extravagantly, not performatively. He doesn't fill the refrigerator or anything, but just helpfully. That gets counted. He spends time in the apartment. That gets counted too. Even his presence, his very existence, becomes evidence. And slowly, Claudine learns a devastating lesson, that being honest is expensive and being visible costs too much. So love becomes something you manage carefully and have to downplay and keep quiet. And that's not because Claudine doesn't value love. It's because she understands the rules. She understands that the system doesn't care whether Rupert is kind or contributes emotionally or whether he helps hold the family together. It only cares whether his presence can be used to justify taking something away. So intimacy becomes strategic, and survival requires discretion. And this is where the ethical injury shows up, because relationships are one of the strongest protective factors humans have. They reduce stress, isolation, and they create emotional safety and help keep people going in the toughest of times. But when systems treat relationships as risks instead of resources, people are forced into some impossible choices. Be honest and lose support, or be careful and carry the burden alone. That's not neutrality. It's moral judgment disguised as policy. Because what's being punished here isn't fraud, it's interdependence, something that we as humans need. And when I think about this aspect of Claudine, I ground myself in these three ethical questions. Number one, who's forced to hide their relationship in order to survive? Number two, what kinds of love does the system recognize, and what kinds does it quietly punish? And number three, what does long-term surveillance do to trust, honesty, and emotional safety? Because when love has to be hidden to be safe, the system is shaping behavior in ways it was never designed to account for. And this isn't just a historical issue. Modern systems still make assumptions about relationships, about household composition, cohabitation, and support networks. They still treat closeness as something to be monitored instead of something to be understood. And when data replaces context, intimacy gets flattened into a variable. Claudine reminds us that systems don't just regulate money, they regulate closeness, honesty, and what people feel safe sharing. And whenever love becomes something you have to conceal, that tells us something important about the system, not the people inside it. So let's keep in mind, no easy answers, only better questions. I'll see you on the next one.